Hello, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful community. I just wanted to jump on a live because I'm in some alternate reality that feels really important to share with you all. In case you missed the memo, not the star piece one, though, that's important too. Yesterday, I had the honor of interviewing Dr. Bruce Lipton, which just brings tears to my eyes because this man has been such a huge part of all the work I've ever done. Aside from, finishing. Okay, so I went to school. I trained. I went to university. Ended up doing a degree in education, environmental studies, and I spent a year in IT recruitment, which I felt was the devil's work, and it really built a negative relationship between me and sales. But anyway, that's changed. That was the only kind of time I've ever had a salaried job, and since then, I have basically been self-employed. And from the fact that I had my daughter when I was 21, I was pregnant with my daughter. 22, I had a 4-day labor. I don't know if many people know this, but basically, I thought I had prepared well for a conscious birth, and I had the birthing pool, and I had, the home birth idea. I didn't go near the hospitals, didn't have any scans or anything like that. I was really well informed for a young lady, and very well informed I was. I got signed off by health visitors, doctors, because I was running rings around them. I was well educated. I knew what I was talking about, and they couldn't give me answers that I wanted. Anyway, the point is that 4-day labor led me to want to understand more about why I had that kind of birth. My daughter had that kind of birth. And, I was lucky to, although I had informally already been teaching yoga prior, I trained in hatha yoga, and then very quickly trained in pregnancy and fertility and baby yoga and birth yoga. And I have the lovely Dr. Francoise Friedman and Uma Dinsmore-Tooley and Sally Lomas to thank for the majority of my training. And basically, the bottom line is, from the moment that I started these specialist trainings, at the back of every manual, there was an excerpt from Bruce Lipton. And Bruce's work was actually, at the time, we're talking 2004, 2005, he was doing a lot of stuff around conscious pregnancy and conscious birth. I was just speaking to a friend of mine who's a multidimensional coach in Israel, and she was telling me that she remembers bumping into him 15 years ago when he was doing this kind of work. So for me, it's just huge. I met him 2 years ago, and then I had the honor of spending an hour and a half with him yesterday. I'm just blown away. I'm really, my heart is freaking huge right now. And I've not really been able to come down from it. Now I'm going to be hosting full moon world service and meditation and healing today very soon, actually, in less than an hour. So if anyone wants to join, I'll put the link for that. I want to make clear that basically these events are co-creation events. They're make-believe events, as in what we do is we co-create the reality we want, and then we clear up resistance to them. And everything I teach is founded on Bruce's work. Everything I teach, everything I do, whether it's pregnancy yoga, whether it's coaching, it doesn't matter. It's all been so deeply impregnated with his consciousness. And he said so many amazing things yesterday. I haven't listened back to the interview yet. I'm going to be going through it tonight with Ian after I've done the co-creation meditation and the world service for everybody tonight. And there'll be little bite sizes, and then there'll be the interview published really soon. But I just wanted to put out there two things. One, it has come to my attention, and I'm not going to spoil all the highlights from yesterday because there were lots of things I hadn't heard before. He did a really good job of going over some key elements of his research and reminding people. He's brilliant at going back to basics in that sense. But we also went into some directions I hadn't heard him talk before. And there's another interview he did recently. I think the YouTube channel is Young and Alive, and I'm going to put a link for you for that because I'll see if I can get on there myself and speak with them. Brian, I think the guy's name is. Anyway, it's great that his work is reaching a wider audience, and I think it's very important at this point it does. And I actually really want to bring to the forefront again how important it is to relook at conscious conception, conscious pregnancy, conscious birth, and conscious parenting. The key thing I'll just say now is that he has said this, that, at the moment, in terms of the world's resources, according to NASA, we're using 1.6 planets worth of resources rather than a whole planet. It's, nearly, 0.6 more. And we can't afford to do that. It's not the planet that's going to be destroyed. Humans will be, right? We are the ones that are, in the end, not going to make it. So we have the choice. We actually need to, in one generation, my friends, one generation, shift the global narrative completely. And I know that this is all to do with birth. It's all to do with pregnancy. It's all to do with parenting. It's all to do with conscious relationship. And it's also all to do with entertainment. Those of you who know me, mark my words, I know what I'm saying here. And it is my mission from now on to make sure this becomes really visible, really clear. And, you know, I'm someone who will say, let's stop calling people out. Let's shed light on things. But one thing I do want to say, that in this country, we have something called the 1001 Days Cross-Party Manifesto, which means every political party in the UK government knows about it. And the NHS has paid lip service to it in the sense that, no disrespect to the NHS, because the NHS is not like for me, it's not a vibrant health service. It's an emergency healthcare service. That's how I see it. And it's brilliant. And it saved my life last year. And I have so much love and respect for it. So please, no, I'm not dissing it. But it's too much. It's not the remit, really, to be able to take care of the emotional, psychological, spiritual, and physical elements of this conscious parenting journey. It's way beyond health centres and children's centres and appointments. Okay, it's way beyond that, although that's a basic need and we need to have that too. So I'm just basically saying at this point, it's not acceptable anymore for people not to know how important it is, not just conception, but preconception is to creating a generation that is wired to thrive rather than survive, wired for peace rather than conflict and war. It starts there. It's really important, okay? And, you know, I'm going to just keep beating this drum, and I'm not beating it from a wounded place. I'm not wounded. I'm resolved. I'm integrated. I've spent the last 24 years integrating, right? So, you know, I'm in a good place to share this from a balanced perspective, and I'm going to, and this is why I'm making this video. It's a resolution and a revolution. So I've had this idea that it's time to, I'm just putting this out there now, so it's in the ethos and it's starting to create form, that it's time to do a conscious parenting summit that is actually about co-creating peace in one generation. That's going to be my aim. And I have already proposed this by email, and I'm just going to basically see who's up for it. So I know loads of birth workers myself, loads of people in the birthing world, that there are, you know, epigeneticists, there are neuroscientists, there are quantum physicists. There's all sorts of experts I want to bring together, as well as people in the actual birthing world. So one of the things we talked about yesterday was the book Why Love Matters and why it's important not to leave babies to cry. And Bruce is well aware of all of this stuff. I'm just looking at my books to see what I've got here. Another one, Birthing from Within, Pam England. It's just not okay anymore to leave it till we're pregnant. We need to be learning these things now before we even think about it. I want teenagers to be having conversations about what it means to be in conscious sacred union. Okay, I want that. And I'm a bridge. I'm 45 years old presently. So I feel like I'm at that good space where kind of like, you know, a mum to a 23-year-old, I can kind of get down with it, get down with the trumpets. Everyone says, oh, you're so yesterday, saying things like that. But also, what was the other book? It used to be called The Science of Parenting, but it's what every parent needs to know. And that is another Margot Sunderland. We've got to get her on. So I'm getting reignited. I'm getting reignited. It's not my role anymore to be teaching pregnancy yoga and all of that, but it is my role to speak up for all of the things that I absolutely learned. And the other thing I'm going to say is today we have this amazing conjunction between Mars and Venus. So this is about us stepping into the resolved element of the masculine and the resolved element of the feminine, which is how we create sacred union. So what do I mean by this? Well, Tanaz spoke in her Forever Conscious forecast. You know, she does all these lovely sort of astrological blogs, if you like. And she talked about the fact that the resolved masculine, or the healthy, the divine masculine, is the fearless warrior, and the divine feminine is the goddess of love. And we're going to be working with these energies tonight. So for those of you who know that your inner masculine and feminine are not where you want them to be, because you're not in a healthy, happy relationship, and there's self beat up, and there's not stepping forward fully in your power, etc., come and join me. Okay, I've started to charge for these because they are healings. I'm going to be offering them in closed spaces. So on my Zoom, it's £22.22, but you can pay £11.11. That's the minimum you can pay. You can pay more. I'm going to be putting 50% of everything that we receive towards a good cause. And here's the deal. So I mentioned to you my friend who's in Israel, who is a multidimensional coach, multidimensional healer. We were talking today, and she was telling me about how bad the crimes against women have been. Yeah, she said to me she didn't want to she didn't want to tell me the details, but some of the things that she told me already just already in my head, right? So the thing is, there are people like me that can hold the light really strongly. And I know there are lots of other healers and lots of, you know, well-intentioned energy workers out there that we're not in the fray. We're not in the thick of it. We haven't seen the stuff that's really traumatizing. But people like my friend are holding the codes of trauma. They know what's going on. They can feel it. They're there. They've heard stories they can't unhear. So when I say, you know, raising money for a good cause, it's not going to be a big charity. It's going to be something grassroots. And it will be something I publish and I'll let you know about. And yeah, basically what I'm feeling to do is to do a big healing. So to bring together healers, energy workers from around the world for us to actually flood the healing codes into Israel and Gaza and to support basically everywhere, but particularly there for now, where the crimes against women have been so barbaric, and that trauma, you don't, for those who've survived it, to carry babies into this world, to bring children in after they've been through something like that, it's just, we don't have time for this anymore. It's time to clear things in one generation. Now, it is time now. We have the healing codes. We have everything we need that we need to know, that we have every tool to therapize the world. Every world, I'm losing my words. Everything we need to know, we know. The research has been done. We just need to apply it. Not so long ago, Kate Middleton was talking about the impact of lockdowns, etc., on children. And, you know, she's been talking about sort of, I think, from 2 years on or from 1 year on. But our governments know from conception on. They know that actually it's well before a child is born that we need to be taking the responsibility now to consider how we support those who are bringing children into this world. It breaks my heart that the focus is on just getting pregnant. And I know that sounds glib, because if you are trying to get pregnant and you can't, and you're going to every effort to bring a baby into this world, my heart goes out to you. I would just say to you, please have a chat with me before you go ahead and spend a lot of money on things that will give you a very small chance of getting pregnant, without having looked at actually the reasons why you're not getting pregnant before the physical. It might be physical things, but they always have emotional and psychological components as well, with rare exceptions. So I'm not the only one. I know there are lots of other people doing amazing work, but clearing the subconscious, reprogramming the subconscious, aligning the conscious mind with what we want, and releasing from the previous generation's trauma is essential. So I'm going to leave this here, because those are the two things I wanted to say. Was one, I'm preparing a summit. It's going to happen. I think it's really important. And after that, the next summit will be about how we apply peace in our institutions, the current institutions of our time. I'm happy to come and talk to anyone who wants to, well, podcast, whatever, you know, if you want me to come in and talk about this stuff, I'm happy to do that. I've got the 9 star maps I can talk to as well. At the moment, I've got someone who is summarizing my book for me, so that I can then apply to publishers to get it published. And next thing will be going to angel investors, because this is a huge project that I've got in my mind. You know, Star Peace is kind of, you know, the evolution of Star Wars, so it's pretty big, right? And I don't do things in a small way, certainly not in my beautiful imagination. So I would love your comments. I would love you to please get in touch if you are interested in what I'm talking about, and you might know contacts that could be useful. As I said, first thing's the summit. The other thing is getting together and creating a healing space. It'll be for the next full moon, so we've got a month to plan it, but I want to bring together every healer I know, every energy worker I know, that is holding the energy from the outside, so we can transmit it to where the problems are occurring right now, where the traumas are occurring, and create a shift very quickly. And then from there, we will see what happens. So thank you for hearing me. I'm intending to have the interview published next week with Bruce. And also I will be putting out little shorts from the big wow moments. But like, what he shared about how he truly released fear is huge. And I'm not going to ruin that for you. Just watch this space. And there are a few, oh, there's just, I'm just, so grateful, happy, touched, feeling the reality of what I've been working towards the last 3 years actually starting to manifest and take form. So I just really wanted to share this with you all. And yeah, if you want to join me tonight, book up. Okay, I'm gonna go put some makeup on. And I'm going to be setting my space up so that we can transmit these beautiful codes with this amazing full moon, because we're, with the conjunction that's going on in this full moon in Virgo, we're getting to basically upgrade our structures so that we can align with what we want and release the stuff that's been holding us back. I've made quite a few videos about it, but I also just want to say this is all about Lionsgate, and I keep talking about it, and I'm going to do a video specifically about it. But in August, we have a huge upgrade we're all preparing for now. And, you know, as my lovely Tara Love Perry says, peace in our time. For me, it's star peace. You know, let's now start to really bring these concepts to the forefront and what they actually mean. No more talking. It's time to start doing. Okay, it's time to really do. And any of you who are on socials, I'm going to ask you to be really responsible with what you share. I'm going to ask you to have a look at starpeaceconsciousness.com, the website, starpeaceconsciousness.com. Please add your name to the manifesto. Please read through what I wrote down about how we can shape our reality, because, you know, now is we can't energize things anymore we don't want. And, you know, we are either going to keep creating duality or not. Now, as my dear friend said, there is a place for right and wrong. We have to be able to accept that certain things are just, it's just not okay. It's not humane for these things to be going on. It's not evolved. They're happening, and it's telling us about the level of some of our consciousness that needs upgrading now. So if we upgrade it, it will affect those who are in a lower state of consciousness. Can't help but entrain them and bring them up. So we're not here to look outward, we're here doing the inner work. And by us doing the inner work, and Bruce talked about this again and again and again and again, that's how we create peace in the world around us, through creating peace inside. Okay, so, you know, you've heard me say many times, we're moving from duality into oneness, and we have to evolve beyond duality. But equally, being able to decide and to draw a line and say enough is enough, this is not going to happen anymore, is really important, right? That's how things change in your personal life, in your work life, in every area. You have to draw a line and go, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not participating in this anymore. I'm not adding my energy to this anymore. So whatever you share on your socials, be very aware you're energizing what you share. If you're pointing fingers and blaming and hating and basically gassing hot air for the sake of it, it's a waste of your energy. What can we do? Let's reframe. Let's share the things we want to energize. If we're sharing stuff that we don't want to energize, let's share it in a way where we're bringing awareness and bringing things to light and actually talking about the solutions. That was the original idea around my Star Peace Facebook group, but no one participated with me. It was just me. So now I'm just saying, right, let's co-create, let's step forward, let's do it. And I think people just don't know how to do it. So I'm going to model it. I'm going to ask others to model it. And let's just step forward and co-create a new reality, beautiful ones. It's our journey to create peace on earth. That's it. Transmission over. I love you. You're amazing. Thank you for being on this planet. Thank you for caring. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting me in what I'm doing. You're amazing. I'll see you later. Take care.